What's up, all our chicken people? Welcome back to 5 Acre Farms. I'm Caitlin. Luke is on the tractor. Today we have very exciting news. I know you all have been waiting for this for months, but we're finally getting started on it. I don't know if you can tell what we're doing, but we are starting the preparation to build our new breeder pens, which is super exciting. So right now, let me turn you around, but Luke is he is rototilling all of the dirt where we're going to put the pens. Eventually we'll put sand in each of the pens, I think is what we finally decided on. But right now he's just kind of breaking up the ground. We have grass and where the pens were before and all that kind of stuff. So he's just breaking that up, and that way we have like a clean start basically. Hopefully you can hear me over the tractor. So that's where we're starting at this morning. Is just kind of getting everything prepared and ready for the new breeder pens. We have some of the wood back in between those trees already. So I'm not sure what our plan is this morning, today, what all we're gonna try to accomplish. But time is running out before this winter, and we have to move birds around and get them all situated before it gets too cold, because where they're at right now is not really the best option for when it's cold out, because there's not really anywhere for them to get out of the wind and the cold. So we got to get them moved into a space that they can get out of the drafts for this winter. So I guess stay tuned. We'll see where we get going. Luke will have to remind you guys what size of pens we're doing and how many, because I don't remember. It's been a while since we have talked about it. So I'll let him talk about all that stuff. But stay tuned. The day is here, and we are finally getting started.
Got it rototilled up. The main purpose was really to find all the rocks and old metal and whatever else was out here. And if you watched our video a while ago, we showed our old breeder pens, and those breeder pens were here for about 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years, maybe more, I can't remember. But anyway, rototilling this up allows all that manure that was there to get mixed into the soil, and we haven't had the pens here for several months, so that sun baking down on that manure load really helps neutralize it. But rototilling it up, and this is pretty much all sand, so it drains real easy. But I really wanted to just kind of clean it up, smooth it out. It kind of doesn't work very well when you have big tractor tires and a small area to make it look super smooth. But anyway, I think I got it pretty well rototilled to what I would like. Now it's just time to put on the post hole auger on the tractor and start punching holes. The problem is I'm gonna have to do some more measuring. I think we're gonna shoot from the silky pen all the way back. It's gonna get hard to punch these holes along this back fence because of these tree roots. We did end up getting the big tree out that was dead that we wanted to over there by Wilbur. So now we don't have to worry about anything falling. We've cleared most of the branches that would land on the new pins if there were any. But if we come off of here, they're going to be roughly It's 21 feet, so we'll probably end up doing it at 20, just because we can buy 20-foot boards. So 20 foot by, I'll have to look at my measurements again. Excuse me. I think we were planning on doing 8 foot, 20 by 8s or 20 by 10s. All these little chickies and chickens will come through here and scratch through this and help level it out too, but we've had a bunch of silkies hatch. Anyway, sidetracked by cute little fluffy chickens. So 20 by I think 10 will give us, I can't remember, if we did 8, that would be each T-post is 8 foot apart. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, roughly 9 pins if we did them 8 foot apart. I think we were going to try to maybe do 8 10-footers, I think is the plan. So that'll give us a little bit of room down at the end by the water hydrant down there, which is one of the reasons we like it right here, because we do get a little bit of shade from these trees, what's left of them from the storm anyway. And we have a water hydrant on that end of the pins and a water hydrant on this end of the pins. So we may end up putting in some type of automatic water system that we can use during the summer, and then as winter comes, switch back over to the rubber dishes. But we've been keeping back a lot of our chicks from this summer, so we can have a bunch of breeders. I think a 10 by 20 we can fit at least 15 hens in to breed from, so we can sell hatching eggs to you guys next spring. So that's the game plan. You saw us buy the feeders too at one of the auctions, the big 40-gallon feeders, 40-pound feeders. So each one of the breeder pens will have one of those. But yeah, so I guess the next step is we have the 4x4 post. We're gonna have to start punching holes, and we gotta go get concrete, because I think the best way to do this is to set the post as we work instead of punching all the holes, because we got to have each post exactly 10 foot, because if we're going to use, or 8 foot, whatever we end up doing, exactly 8 foot from each other. That way when we buy 8 foot boards or 10 foot boards, everything lines up. So that's the game plan. We're just kind of winging it. I only got a little bit of time today. I may have to go cut corn. Same with tomorrow. So a little bit here, a little bit there. All right. We're gonna start with the back corner here, and then probably do all the back post, the 8-footers, and then work our way out toward the front where all the 10-footers are. So we're just gonna do half a bag concrete in each one and go with it. And we're not gonna pre-mix it, we're just gonna throw it in. Oh no, it's hanging up somewhere in the garage. You might bring another shovel too. It's gonna take forever. Grab the shovel. Boom. Give her some water. We set it off the back of the fence here a little bit. That way we can still get the metal behind it. I think the whole back side is going to be metal all the way up to 6 foot. That way it's a good wind block in the winter. One down, 35 to go, 34 to go. I got the 3-point auger hooked up on the tractor, but these around the fence here, I'm gonna have to worry about hitting roots. And I don't want to catch the auger blade on the fence. So I think we'll go down and do the one by the pigs and then run a straight line. That way we make sure we get all the other in a line. Of course, by the time we get started, it's in the 80s, nice and hot. Dang pigs threw mud on me. It's past their lunchtime. All right. Tape measure. There you have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 posts set. The first 9. Oh, lost one of my pins when I was rototilling.
What's the second one?
Anyway, the back 9 posts are set, and each one got a half a bag of concrete. These 2 back here, I don't know if you can see them. Right next to this old tree, that one and that one. I only got them in about 1 foot in the ground. I did my best to chainsaw out the roots, but the roots were 2 foot deep, and I just doling a blade and all that fun stuff. So the main thing is we'll find 8 foot or whatever the lowest board is, which might be this one here. We'll figure out its height, and then we'll run a string all the way across all of them. And then when we set our 2x6 header, we'll go back and cut them all off flush with that back header. So I'm wore out, so we're gonna go take a puppy break. Wear down to puppy for a little bit, and then we'll come back here in another hour or so, or 2 hours, and try to get these.
All the main posts set.
Yeah, we'll probably do all the main post as well as the post the gate's on. So we did 9 there, so we got 18 or 19 along the front to do. And if we can do it right, then we'll use the auger on the tractor, maybe go a little bit quicker. I do have a water line in here, but I think we put it in like 4 foot deep, so we're only putting these 4x4s in 2 foot deep with concrete. So once it's all put together and screwed together, it'll be one solid structure. If you were just making 1 post, obviously you want it 1/3 of the post deep. But anyway, puppy time, water break. Well, we got sidetracked yesterday, so it's the next day. All the posts seemed to settle just fine. Now it's time to set all of the front post. So we're gonna have to make sure everything's good and square, as well as we're gonna put a post in for the gate as well. So you're gonna have your 2 posts for the pin, and then we have an extra one for the gate. So here we go. So as you can see, we have the line for 20 feet from the outside of that 4x4 to what will be the outside of this 4x4 is exactly 20 feet, because you can buy the metal in 20-foot sheets. So we'll cut the 24 or the 20-foot 2x6 to go on the inside in between these 2 4x4s. That way the metal can sit flush with the 2x6s and the 4x4s. Hope that makes sense. But now we're gonna set the corner, and then from the corner we'll go probably 4 foot, make a 4-foot gate, because if it's at 4 foot, the remaining should be 6 foot. I don't know. We'll start here. We're winging it. And this is why I've been putting this off, doing this, because it just takes forever trying to get down to the 1/8 of an inch when you're setting a crooked post. So we bought these 10-footers, I don't know, a month or 2 ago, and they were really wet, so they've dried a little bit, so they're starting to get a little curve to them. That's my fault, I guess, for buying them so early and not getting them in the ground and getting boards on them to keep them straight. But essentially we went with a 3-foot door. I don't know if you can see this one here. So in theory, this is going to be the door, and then over here this board is going to be essentially the coop. So each individual coop is going to be 10 foot wide by 20 foot long, which you could easily hold 15 hens and a couple roosters. So we went with 10 footers on the front because we're going to come up probably 20 inches with metal. Well, I haven't determined yet if we're going to use pro panel or corrugated metal. Pro panel, I think, is 27 inches or 32 inches. I can't remember. Pro panel wider than corrugated metal. I think corrugated is 27. So, but we're going to bury that metal 8 inches. So the metal is going to come up roughly a couple feet above the ground, and then wire up 6 foot, because the wire comes in 6 foot rolls. So wherever 6 foot lands, we'll cut it and go from there. So we have probably 2 to 2.5 feet in the ground with a half a bag of concrete. Again, I want the door big enough where I don't have to bend over to get in. So we'll probably make the door the full size. So if we run a header up here, a 2x6 header, then we'll come down whatever, a couple inches off the header to make a 6 foot door big enough for me to get into. And then we'll probably come back and dig out the door and put probably 8 inches of concrete underneath the door. That way nothing can dig if you bury the metal, that keeps predators from digging in over here, but where the door is, obviously can't bury the metal because you got to be able to open the door. So we'll probably end up digging out a trench and pouring 8 inches of concrete there. And yeah, so now that we're 1 down, we have essentially 7 more to go. Once this is done, then it's just screwing boards up and cutting and screwing and going. It's this stuff that you got to be super tedious on, getting your measurements and everything perfectly correct, lined up with your boards on the back, so that way you don't have one pin wider on one end than the other. It's mathematics, which wasn't my strong suit in high school or college. Make sure you water your pigs so they grow big and strong. Anyway, we are complete with all the front 4x4s. So again, each ones that are close are going to be a gate. So all we have left is the 4x4s in the middle. Got 9 more to do, and as you can see over here, we left a gap. So this one here is the farthest one to the west. We have a gap in between the pigs and the chicken pen, so we can get to this hydrant over here. Plus it's not really big enough to add another pen. I mean, yeah, we could add another pen, but then we wouldn't be able to get to that hydrant without being inside the chickens. So yeah, if we want to add it later, like add it as a cerama pen or something, we could. But again, we have 20 foot between these 4x4s in the back. So we're going to put another 4x4 in between, all the way for each 4x4 except for the door. We won't add one in the middle in between the doors, but we're probably going to take a little bit of a break here. I think there's a storm rolling in, so we need to run a few errands, maybe let it cool down. It's already like 85, 90 degrees. So yeah, this is the ultimate breeder pen, the start of it anyway. It's going to be pretty sweet when it's done, but we're a long ways from being done. So, but buy once, cry once, whatever. We've looked at buying like dog kennel panels to do this, and when each panel cost 100 and whatever, 20, 150 bucks a panel, maybe even more depending on the dog panel, it was going to cost us to build a 10 by 20 times 8. I mean, it was going to cost us like $5 just in panels, not including a roof. And you're pretty much still got to put a metal roof on it, metal back on it. All that dog kennel panel does is pretty much eliminate the wire cost of it. So I already have all the chicken wire, so we're just going to use chicken wire, even though I dog on chicken wire quite a bit. This whole pin system is already inside a woven wire fence, chicken yard fence. So coyotes, I mean coons can still get in here, but coons aren't really our biggest issue. But like I said, we're gonna do metal all the way around the bottom, all the way on the top, all the way around on the back side. So we're gonna have a chunk of change put into metal, but I already have 300 or 400 feet of chicken wire, 6-foot chicken wire, so I'm just gonna use it. No, it's not coated, it's just regular. But I was buying that stuff at auctions, like brand new rolls of 6-foot chicken wire. I think I paid $100 for a roll. So I didn't need it at the time, but I'm glad I bought it because it's twice that now. Anyway, one step closer. This was the one step that just kind of boring and I hate to do. So that's why we didn't start sooner. Just kept putting it off. And we're still in the middle of corn harvest. So I didn't get called in today, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. But once we're gonna have to make a trip to the big city to get some wood and metal. So that'll probably be this week sometime. Because really once all these posts are set and solid, start putting 2x6s up and getting it ready for chicken wire. It's 2x6s, chicken wire, then metal, and then the roof. Still got to build 8 doors. Long list of to-dos. All right, we'll see you when we get back to these last 8. So now the plan is we got everything done like you just saw. Now to put the middle post in, we're going to run the string in between each post. I'm going to get a tape measure out, figure out what the distance is, cut it in half, sink another 4x4, so on and so forth. And we got Jake here. So hopefully we can knock this out real quick before it gets too dark.
We are working on the breeder pens, finishing up a few things, but I just wanted to show you guys the sunset because it is beautiful. It's really pretty. And I gotta show you the little girl. Say hi. Ugh. She doesn't know what's going on. She's checking out the sunset too. We brought her out here so that way she could get used to seeing the chickens and the guineas and all that kind of stuff, just exposing her to more stuff, which is always good when you have a puppy. Look over here. There's a guinea behind me that she's looking at. So anyway, I just wanted to show you her as well as sunset.
Well, it's the next day, and, well, 2 days later. Anyway, all 4x4 posts are set. That's right, guys. Sure is a beaut. This thing's gonna be way bigger than I expected, but all of them, half a bag of concrete, everything's settled. Yeah, they're pretty stout in there. I haven't packed in the rest of the holes yet. I still need to go in and pack them down, but I did get a laser level ordered last week and got it ready to go. So just a cheapo on Amazon, but the plan is hopefully it's a good enough laser level to like figure out, come back and make sure I get all my 2x6s set on the back, and so we'll probably have to bring it down a little bit. You can see it on this post, but I'm guessing it's not on this post. So I guess you can see it on my hand there. So I'm gonna have to come down about an inch or two there, bring the whole laser level down. That way I can, because I'm gonna run this whole back board probably off whatever the shortest post is. So the whole roof will be sloped back, and the whole big pin will be level on the top. Now the bottom, it's going to look goofy because this end down here sits higher than this end back here. So I'm going to make the roof level all the way across, but all the doors and the bottom metal is all going to be sloping downhill. So that's kind of to help water not pile up, because if we pitch this whole roof backwards into Wilbur's pen, then it can all slope down into the pig's mud hole back there. That'll save us from having to water the pigs as much. So that's the plan. Like I said, the laser level, I guess it has a little remote here. Let me see here. There you go, full brightness. I'll probably come back here in the dark to get a pen out and mark all these lines, because I think tomorrow I'll start on this. But like I said, I'll set this line as the top. So we'll end up coming back and cutting all these off level, but I'll set my 2x6 on the bottom side of the line, and then, like I said, this will help make the whole thing level. Wind should die down here, keep that laser level nice and steady, but you can see it all the way back here on this post. And yeah, so that's the game plan. So that's kind of the easiest option for me to make everything level, just to get a laser. And we went to Menards yesterday and loaded this little 14-foot trailer up, which kind of maxed out the old payload, I think, on it. This is all pretty much all treated, heavy green treated, except for some 2x4s down here, and we'll explain why those aren't treated as we get going. So we got some 20-footer 2x6s up here and the whole 9 yards. So anyways, I'll be fairly transparent with the prices as I go on what this costs to build. And I'm trying to be as informative as I can. That way, if you guys ever want to build something like this, you kind of have an idea of how we're doing it. But all these 8-foot, or all these 4x4s, pressure treated 4x4s, the 10-footers were about $15 a piece, and the 8-footers, which are the ones on the back row, were maybe $10 a piece. And so I can't remember how many of those I have. 2, 4, 6, 26 10-footers and 9 8-footers. So you guys can do the math on what that costs. Several $100s. And this whole pile of green treated lumber, and we went to the Menards because they do have the best prices. And this was roughly $1,300, a little over $1,300. So we're doing this for you guys. So make sure you guys like the videos, watch them, subscribe to the channel if you're not. We got several build videos coming. This video is part 1 of, I don't know, 10-part series. So we need you guys to help support this, because we're really doing this so we can up our hatching egg game for next year for everybody that wants to buy hatching eggs from us. The pigs are getting feisty over some table scraps back there. But that's all I have for this video. Next video I'm going to start on tomorrow, and that's going to be starting to frame all this out. And then once I get it all framed out, then we'll get the wire on, build doors. I guess we got to build doors, then put all the wire on, and then put all the metal on. Yeah, and pimp it all out for chickens. Because right now they're all in that big pen back there, and we need to get all of them separated and sorted and figure out which ones we're going to use for breeders and so on and so forth. So anyway, getting long-winded. You know the deal. We love you guys. Don't haggle with your egg supplier. Buy your chicks local.